Hello and welcome to the third round of interviews for the Software Testing World Cup. This is with Team Army Ants, who are coming to us live from a small town in Romania, where they work for a company called HP, which apparently really is as global as HP claims to be. I didn't even know they had offices there to develop software. And the team is called Team Army Ants. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being interviewed.
Thank you.
And so let's start talking to our team members. We have Ilana, Irina, Lavinia, and Sanda. Did I get that right?
Yeah. Yes.
Fantastic. So the first question I'd like to ask, I think I'll ask it to Irina. Irina's if I got this right, a linguist with a few years of experience who just came into software testing in the past 6 months. So one of the things I like about this team is the diversity, all the way from new to testing to years of experience, which means we got to practice with each other and learn what you were doing. So what was the experience for you like for the regional round, the European round, Irina? Did you have fun? Did you learn something?
But the initial purpose was more for me to get to know my colleagues because I was very new in the company. So I said, okay, let's do this thing together and see how we work. It was a lot more stressful because normally we would test, we have plenty of time to analyze the requirements, to look into test scenarios and so on. For the competition, everything happens at high speed. So we had a plan, we tried to stick to it, but we also had to think on our feet and act fast.
And it was very intense.
Yeah.
Actually, Irina was the one that told us about the contest.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how did you find out about it, Irina?
I take part in a local meetup group for testers, and I also read some blogs and some testing magazines. I wouldn't really remember right now from which of these places I found out. I just, at some point, I got an email, and among several things, there was a testing competition, and I said, "Oh, that sounds like fun." And I think it was very intriguing because it said something 3 hours or very short time span, and I didn't really think it could be done. So normally you have much larger amounts of time to test even just a feature. And also it was a great way to work with other people and see how other people think, not only people who from the team with which we participated, but also people from all around the world who describe their experience in blogs or online or meetups. So it was very interesting to see how they thought and how they approached the competition and how they felt through it.
The idea of the complex is very intriguing because it's hard to quantify the software test. So we were looking to see how exactly we will be scored, how exactly we will differentiate it. And
Yeah.
so far we are happy with the results.
Yeah, and we left the scoring. We try to provide some guidelines to the scoring, but it's almost impossible to say that here's exactly what will be rated on. One thing we did do was we had multiple judges, and multiple people would come to conclusions, and then we would compare how different they were. And if they were wildly different, then we had to have conversations or throw a third or fourth judge at it, because we wanted those to be consistent. So you are on Twitter, you're blogging or reading blogs, you're reading magazines, you're going to meetups, and you find out about this test competition, which it sounds like it had value for you, just the competition itself, getting to know your other team members and sharing and stuff like that. And now you're going to Germany. Is that like a really common thing to fly your whole team to Germany for a conference? Or I'm guessing that might be a reasonably new experience for you folks. Are you excited about that?
Yes.
Definitely.
Elena, Ilana, right?
It's okay.
It's new for everybody. My name is Heusser, Heusser. So your names are more pronounceable than mine. But you've got 5 years of experience testing for HP in the server automation team. And are you looking forward to the Germany trip? Do you have any special plans when you get out there? You bought plane tickets, right? You should have plane tickets by now.
Yes, for the moment we just have the plane tickets. We didn't have a plan for Berlin. Probably on Sunday we'll visit the town, and after that we'll be happy to talk with the other teams to see
Their
what
experience.
exactly their experience, and looking forward also for the HR conference. For sure, we'll have a lot of things to learn.
Yeah, have any of you been to the Agile conference before, or is that new for you? Agile testing days.
We have some colleagues that participated last year and they shared their feedback on the event. It was great. Plus, we know there are a couple of, or more than a few testing conferences in Europe. And last year we selected the dry testing conference because I think it brings something new to the table, especially in the software testing area compared to the more traditional tests. I will do not give names.
Yeah, the Agile testing days, if you haven't been before, there's going to be stuff to do all the time. So all during the day there are sessions, and then at night there's parties, there's games, there's an opportunity to meet people and talk about what I really like to do is talk about not what someone else did, but what I'm going to do with that information, and you can spend the night doing that. And my biggest problem is I'm not the best partier, so and then I have to get up the next morning and present, or even just to attend. It's amazing there are less people at the opening keynote on the third and fourth day. I wonder why that is, but it's a good show, and I look forward to meeting you there. So, Lavinia, you've been testing 14 years, the last 4 for HP. Everybody here specializes in functional testing. Did you have any particular strategy when you went into the European round? What did you actually plan to do?
So I guess say we plan more than we ended executing. So we try to anticipate based on the other experience, the other edition for the other continents, maybe what sort of application, where can we focus. We prepare the test report a bit in advance, even if it's hard to anticipate what will come. So we prepare that. We try to not necessarily assign different areas between ourselves, but try to have some guidelines and rules. For example, we try to have some prefixes to all bugs, so it will be easy to capture them in the end in the report. We did not know if we will have any categories set up in the Agile Manager. So we try to anticipate a few things and be effective during the competition to be able to follow them more. But the reality is that it was very intense. We end up spending maybe more than our business. But it was a good experience, and I think we are more ready for the next round because we understood where we need to prepare more, how we acted under pressure.
Okay, I'm curious. You have 4 team members. You have application to test. Did you say, I'll take this, and I'll take this, and I'll take that, and I'll take that, and we'll regroup in an hour? Or how did you break the application up to make sure that you weren't accidentally testing the same thing? Or some teams simply do test the same thing, and that's just a risk they take.
We wanted to test the same thing, or at least have two people, because it's good to have two pairs of eyes on the same thing. So we did allocate different features, but we did not necessarily regroup and collaborate that much during. I think the secret was that we trusted each other with the work that we want to plan, and did not feel that we need to check where we are and change our strategy.
And we also did our testing on different devices. So each of us had at least two devices, different devices for testing.
So it's good to organize, but at the same time, we still have the liberty to do what we think is right at that right time.
So you didn't break it up by features as much as by platform. So I'll do Google Chrome, I'll do Firefox, I'll do iOS, I'll do Android, that sort of breaking it up.
We also group by feature, but maybe we group by areas. So not go into too much details. We discover at first the application, and afterwards we say, well, I focus on this and this, and you focus on this, and then we rotate maybe.
That makes a lot of sense. Did you plan to regroup periodically? You've got 3 hours. How did you use the time?
The initial plan was to discuss, like we would discover the application, spend maybe 15 minutes trying to understand and then decide who does what. And then the initial plan was every half hour we would check up on each other and see where we are and see what needs to be changed. We didn't really stick to that plan, but we did every once in a while check up with each other to see, especially when we would find something like some problematic area, we would check with each other to see if the finding is valid and stuff like that.
Or say, I need help in this area because I did not have enough time, please check it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that makes sense. Yeah, and someone mentioned earlier the intensity. That was kind of by design. We tried to make it like a real software project where you've got multiple things coming at you and you've got to figure out what to do. So you've got to figure out what to test, you've got to coordinate as a group, you've got to do the testing, you've got to write the report, and then of course you have this input stream, which is the voice of the judges having a conversation. You probably want to watch because you're going to get hints and clues and answers to questions. How did you manage the input stream? Did you just have the video going on a monitor?
We were actually always in a conference room and we projected the live stream, so we all had access to that. Of course, the volume was a little low, so we could concentrate also on the testing. But yeah, that's how we did it. And also we had Irina in charge of
asking the question.
Of the YouTube channel.
So we tried to make the question answering consistent and reasonable. It wasn't as bad as Asia, but there were a lot of teams in the European round. What was your experience with getting answers? Did you at least sort of kind of get answers in something like, just like a software project where you don't get immediate answers, but if you complain enough, you usually got something, I hope.
In the end, we only had one question.
Maybe we should not share this.
But we listened to what everyone else was asking and the answers. It was a bit difficult to follow on the YouTube comments at the same time because I was trying to see if our questions had already been asked and so on, and then following through to see what has been answered and what hasn't been already, and also informing everyone as, okay, this and that changes, we have to focus on this more or on this less because it's not important. I remember, for example, the client was saying, okay, do not test the security, do not load test, things like that. Okay, this is something we should not focus on. At one point, we thought we found an area where we should test more, and then and then they were saying, no, 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 this is not a feature yet. Okay, changing plans.
I'm
So
trying to remember. Were you testing Snagit by TechSmith?
no.
What was the product?
Sales demo tool.
Right, by the Canadian company.
Yeah.
Vendasta, right. Yeah, and it's common for those things where we're testing this piece and it's integrated with something else and the integration isn't done yet, or this piece isn't done yet because we're testing an advanced beta of a real product. And we say, that's not a showstopper. With Snagit, it was most interesting because you could download the beta of their product, which is a Windows product, and then you could go to the registration to buy it, right? Because it was a beta. Well, it was the next version. The registration page wasn't up yet because you couldn't buy it yet because it wasn't out yet. So a lot of people said, "Oh, showstopper! Terrible showstopper! You can't buy the product." Well, no, you're testing it. It's not out yet. So the people that weren't paying attention to the video wrote test reports that were materially incorrect and got downgraded for it. I thought that was the best example of this sort of, you really got to watch where your inputs come from and guidance to help guide your testing. No book has that as part of the process document, but it's important. So, Sanda, you've been quiet, and well, I guess we'll finish with you. Do you have any plans for Germany about the competition, or what you plan to change that you're willing to share?
Well, it seems that our strategy for the first round was fruitful. So we will try to work on this strategy and improve it. That's how we do it every day at work. So that's how we're going to do it now. Maybe we'll try to communicate more, or take a little longer to accommodate with the features and maybe split better. It's in progress. The planning is in progress right now.
Yeah, you did a great job. You won
To go ahead, yeah.
you won the European competition, so clearly you did exceptional. And I hope you take every advantage, put that on the resumes, and take credit for that, for the being the best in your region. But yeah, there's always opportunities for improve, and it sounds like the force of the pressure of the time is common. Just kind of let communication slip, and I'm really interested into seeing what you do to what you can put in place to guarantee that it doesn't slip again. Right. That'll be. I'm really interested in seeing what you actually do. When we get to Germany, in the big room as we do the World Cup. So it's going to be exciting.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in just a few short weeks. Right. About 5 weeks. So should be soon.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.